You know, there are two tools that you can use while you are alive, right here, right now, that I learned in my near death experience. We do not have to wait until after our passing or to have a traumatic event like a near death experience in order to get the benefit of using this tool. I am Maria Lupita Gurule. I am a near death experiencer, a soul reader, and a wisdom keeper. So, these tools that I'm talking about, I actually experienced while I was on the other side in my NDE. These two tools you can learn to apply today and it will change your life. So, what are these two tools? It is both the life review as well as assimilating and acclimating, healing. We do not need to wait until after our passing to really review our life, to see what adjustments need to be made, what decisions were made that could have actually been made differently. What were the effects of the choices that we made? You know, we look at all of this in the afterlife when we cross. And only in that rear view mirror, that 2020 hindsight perspective, can we actually see those results. But we don't have to wait until after our passing to do this. And in fact, it is a skill and a tool that we must learn how to use while we are in life. If we can learn how to apply this tool while we are alive, we can save lifetimes, literally lifetimes for our healing. If we have a willingness to look at ourselves through the lens of hard facts, nothing but the truth, without emotion, without justification, blame, shame, or guilt, to look at the hard facts exactly as they are and be willing to see ourselves exactly as we are without trying to justify or trying to explain our behaviors, we can save ourselves lifetimes of struggle. If we can apply this one tool of having our life review while living, imagine the skills that we could learn while here in present time. Now, the thing is, most people do not have a willingness to look at themselves in the same stark, cold, hard truth as in an afterlife. While we are here in the body, we have emotions, and emotions really do affect the way we think and feel and perceive and experience our entire existence. Our emotions bind us to particular ways of thinking and feeling. When we feel wronged, we hold position. We try to justify our emotions and then we try to explain why it is that we are feeling what we're feeling by somehow blaming the other person and by saying something to the effect of, well, if they did this, then I did this. Whenever we are having any kind of language that says, I would feel better if they would, that is the number one first clue that we're not looking in the right place. We have to have a willingness to look at ourselves because every single thing that we are experiencing is indeed from our firsthand experience. We have to be the ones willing to look at ourselves to understand that we are creating our experience by the things that we think, the things that we believe, and what we are willing to allow and accept in our experience. You know, we are efficient beings. We have learned how to bypass all of the things that do not fit the norm. From the moment we are born, you know, our brain is efficient and it is a constant observer and it is recognizing patterns. So when things happen consistently, again and again and again, the brain automatically recognizes it as an automatic pattern and receives it and accepts it as this is the way life is. Until we are faced with a situation that makes us question that very belief or that very idea. When we are willing to look at ourselves to think that, well, maybe the way that I'm looking at this isn't quite right. Maybe there is another way of looking at this that I haven't looked at before. Maybe the other person that I am perceiving to be the bad guy is actually giving me something that I have not yet experienced, something that I need to receive and integrate so that I could have a more greater, bigger picture and perhaps adjust my thinking, adjust my way of feeling and believing and engaging in the world. That's what relationships are all about. Relationships of all kinds, whether that be family, a significant other, co-workers, acquaintances, all of those are relationships because we learn how to relate to another individual. But when we are held into position, when we have certain ways of thinking and feeling and believing the way the world is, when something challenges us, if we are not willing to look at it from a clear perspective and try to open up our perceptions to receive some missing piece that we might not have within our picture, we might be missing the whole point. When we have had experiences in life that set up these, incredible, tumultuous experiences, oftentimes we have to wait until after life to be able to process them, look at them from a lens of all the different occurrences, to look at what were the thoughts and the feelings that we're having while it was happening. What were the beliefs that I had prior to that event happening? Is there a way that I could have looked at that situation, the person, or the event differently? Is my way of looking at it limited? Is there another piece of the puzzle that I have not yet seen? Is there a way that I am showing up in it that I need to learn from? Maybe my own behaviors or my thinking and feeling isn't accurate. Maybe the other person is there to give me the gift of understanding so that I can have a greater, bigger picture. If we hold on to position and we anchor ourselves into justifying an unwillingness to budge and actually open up into a new experience, we miss the whole point. We are here in life to experience, to understand parts of ourselves, to integrate and learn new things, to experience things for our healing, to heal intergenerational experiences, to heal past life experiences, to perhaps come into a new sense of understanding about ourselves, to live life as a more holistic being. We are eternal beings. We are eternal, having a temporary moment and an experience. We are trying to learn and apply all of the knowing that we have as a soul while here in life. While we are in life, we have challenges through a multitude of different experiences and situations and relationships. And we are here to learn from them all. So, why do we need to wait until after the experience to review when we can actually do that for ourselves right here, right now, and make those necessary adjustments that we need to? Learn all that we can about ourselves while we are in life. If we have had difficult relationships and circumstances that have been very difficult, we have the opportunity to review it while we are still in life. Come to a sense of healing and forgiveness and integration within ourselves that we don't have to wait until after our passing. If we can learn to develop this skill to do a present life review while alive, and then have a willingness to make the adjustments from the knowledge that we gain from that review, is profound. In a life review, the reason that those are so difficult is because they really do show us ourselves. without the beliefs and the layers of the human need to be right. If we can release our need to be right, to justify our behaviors, to look at ourselves with, again, the stark, cold truth of seeing things exactly as they are, without justification, without trying to explain, with only a willingness to receive the knowledge and to be able to apply the wisdom gained from that experience. We learn the most from the most difficult of experiences, but oftentimes we can't see the wisdom from it until far after. Oftentimes, when we're stuck into position while we are alive, we never receive the gift of the wisdom unless we are willing to see ourselves through the lens of truth, looking at ourselves exactly as we are, without blaming or shaming, without feeling the guilt, without trying to justify. We can actually look at those parts of ourselves through a lens of compassion. When we can understand these parts of ourselves that we may realize that are less than, maybe we aren't quite as generous, kind, or as patient, as giving as we would like to be. Maybe we aren't as humble. Maybe there are some things that we are working through that we have to learn how to adjust and apply. If we have a willingness to look at ourselves through a lens of truth with compassion, applying the things that we need to do, we can become a most profound and incredible, effective human. That is when you're able to see your humanity and be able to connect and understand that you are an evolving soul, here to learn and apply very particular lessons in life for the growth of all. If you can learn to apply these things while here alive, we can save ourselves lifetimes of having to reincarnate and having to keep reapplying and trying again and again these things. So, may we understand that we have tools that are indeed available to us right here, right now, and that we do not need to wait until after our passing for the opportunity to be given to us for ourselves and our healing. So, have a willingness to take a cold look at ourselves. And what I mean by that, a cold look, it's not meaning difficult, bad, or negative. It means just without any bias. Do not give a bias to yourself. Have a willingness to look at the situation, again, in the stark black and white, just the facts and facts alone without emotion, without trying to justify or feel any kind of negativity towards it or yourself or the other. And ask yourself, what is it that I need to know in this experience? What is it that my soul is trying to afford me the experience to learn? May we open up to receiving the gift of our own healing while we are alive. Have a willingness to check in with yourself. Look at the lens and say, maybe I could have handled that a little bit differently. Maybe I could have been a little bit more kind, more patient, more compassionate. Maybe I didn't recognize that this pattern has existed within me. Maybe there is some truth to this that I can look into and maybe begin to open up and just try. You will be amazed at the results that you will experience if you have a willingness to see yourself and apply the healing from the wisdom that is gained from seeing ourselves and our faults. If we are willing to be able to see our faults, to understand that it's part of our growth process and that we can try again and again. As long as we have a willingness to continue to try, apply the things that we're trying to learn and not wait. So don't dig yourself into position. Try to open your mind and your heart to other possibility for what the other person might be trying to show us and teach us. Alrighty. So may you enjoy your experience. Open up to the healing that is available to you now without having to wait until after the other side. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Until next time, I am Maria Lupita Gurule.